Hey, it's Tree, and I'm back for another video. So on this day, I finished the colors and the shading for page 12. There's just one more page, and we're done with chapter 2, and then moving on to chapter 3. If you're new here, you can read Wakefield on Webtoons and Tapas. I post every Friday, and you can read it from beginning to whatever page I'm currently posting. So it's been a while since I've updated on my reading progress, I suppose I could call it. So let's talk about that. Lately, like the past month or two, I haven't been reading as much, but that's kind of because I've been in the middle of moving houses, so there's so much going, and you gotta go through to move houses. If you're not aware of that, yeah. So in February, I kind of talked a little bit about like my struggles with like reading over the years and how I fell out of it, and how I'm trying to get back into reading again. And then also how my taste in books have changed quite a bit, but a lot of the series that I've read since then, I could probably put into like two categories of like stuff I've read before and new things that I've been reading. So, and a big part of that has come down to like the fact that my sibling Sunny, they really got into anime and manga. So I've been reading a lot of books that they've been recommending me to read. So there's a lot of manga, but also like I'm still trying to get through series that I read as a child in a way, because I wanted to see if they still held up to the same opinions that I have. And yeah, I definitely could consider like with Warrior Cats, a lot of those books, I definitely feel like I have the same opinions about how it was when I read them. But as of August, I have read 56 books for 2021. And that is so much more than I ever thought I would be reading this year. I started off the year with like a goal of reading 5 books, and now there's 56, if that tells you anything. I guess I'll go over like the books I least enjoyed over this time period. And a good way to tell that is because I have a Goodreads account and I label them as best I can. But, the first one on this list is like Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead, Volume 1. And then the next one is the first volume of Platinum End, and they're in there for the same reason. I just didn't really enjoy the fan service. Like, there was a lot of like not safe for work stuff, and I didn't really enjoy that. I don't particularly care for stories with a lot of fan service like that. That's just a me thing. Another series I read but didn't end up enjoying it as much as I thought I would was this book series Fall in Love Like a Comic, and there's like 2 volumes only of it, but I guess it just wasn't what I was expecting. It was more in terms of like a love comedy, but I kind of wanted it to be more involved with like comic making processes and stuff like that, because I really enjoy series like Gekken Shoujo Nozaki-kun and basically things along those lines, where it deals with like creating manga as well as like love comedy elements. But this was just strictly kind of a love comedy, and that's why I didn't enjoy it as much. But also like things would happen and it just keep going and going, you know. It just wasn't that enjoyable for me. But yeah, those are the lowest rated stuff that I've read over this time. Here's another one. There's like these Pokemon mangas that I read. And I read Pokemon Black and White Volume 1 and Pokemon Black and White Volume 2, as well as Pokemon XY. And for Pokemon Black and White, I just think, like, they were trying to recreate, like, the anime except with, like, new characters. Like, the main character has a lot of characteristics in common with Ash, but they had to, like, add a twist to it to make it different. And then the other one, it felt like it was kind of in line with the games, where there's a protagonist and they gotta fight the evil organizations. But this time they have, like, mega rings and stuff. And the character for that one is a bit unconventional, where he didn't really want to go on the Pokemon adventure or whatever. But yeah, they were just kind of typical, you know? But after that, there was like a couple of series that really stuck out to me that I ended up enjoying reading. I'm a really big fan of the Labyrinth movies, and I ended up finding like 2 volumes of this manga they created, and they were pretty nice. Like, the art was a lot nicer than I was expecting. I didn't really have high hopes for it, but it actually had like an overarching series, and like I didn't actually finish reading the series yet, just because I can't find like the 2 other books yet. And then I started reading the D&D Angel manga because I like watched that like as a teenager in middle school, but my siblings, like I said, had recently got into manga, and they found these volumes at the used bookstore where I got the Labyrinth manga, and they've been slowly collecting more of them, and it's like, it was actually really enjoyable because it's not the same story that they had in the anime. And then I ended up buying like 2 volumes of Whisper Me a Love Song. It's an LGBT manga, where the 2 main girls are in love with each other, and it's very wholesome. I think that's why I enjoy it so much. And then I have very high opinions of the Blue Period manga. There's like 3 volumes that I ended up picking up, and I really enjoyed them. There's a lot of character drama in it, but also it talks a lot about art techniques and things like that, and that's probably why I enjoy it so much. I've also read a lot of I've read like 4 volumes of I Don't Know Flag, and I like the series. I just have mixed opinions about it. Like, it seems like a typical romance at first, and then you find out like one of the guy characters is in love with the other guy character in reality, and I found that dynamic kind of interesting, but like I really don't enjoy like the straight relationship that they're doing, like the main boy and girl. But that's just me. I don't really enjoy them together. But other than that, it's like actually pretty good. And then this manga, I think, could fall into the category of like, it's interesting, and that's why I enjoyed it, which was Hell's Paradise. I read a volume of that one, and I just think it's interesting because of like the dynamics and the storyline, but also like the art style is it's so different compared to what you really see these days, if that makes sense. Like, I definitely feel like manga lately have been branching out into like new techniques and styles, and I really enjoy that, and that's probably why I find it interesting, is because they're not going for the stereotypical styles, you know. I could also say that about the first volume of Orient that I read, but that one has characters that are more like stereotypical to like shonen series. And then these next few I could definitely file under the category of like very wholesome. A Man and His Cat, Spy Family, A Sign of Affection. Those were just so wholesome. Oh, and then the first volume of Komi Can't Communicate. I ended up really relating to Komi. Definitely, because I'm like very socially anxious, and it's just very endearing to read, you know. And then these, I kind of want to see what happens next, because I could see it going badly, but you just have to wait and see, I guess. The first volume of Something's Wrong with Us, and then the first volume of Starcrossed. I definitely want to see where they're going to go from here, just because there's like so much stuff that could happen. And then I've read several volumes of Dr. Stone because I really enjoyed the anime, and it's nice seeing where the series is going to go. And then like I'll probably still watch the anime just to see like how this stuff's going to be animated. But yeah, a lot of my books I've read lately have been doing with manga, and I don't think that's gonna stop anytime soon, because as soon as I finish some books that Sunny's lent me, they give me some more. I've definitely tried to read some other stuff that's not like my childhood stuff, but again, I've been very busy with moving lately. Like, I'm finally trying to finish the Tunnel series, because I started reading that one in middle school, and then I think in the third book I stopped reading it, and now I was trying to read the ones that I haven't read, so I finally got to the fourth one, and it's new stuff I've never read before, but then also I don't know how to feel about it, because I really enjoyed where, like, the story started off, but then, like, the new stuff. So, like, Tunnels is all about, like, how some people, like, think about how there's, like, people underneath the earth and things, and it kind of builds up a society from there, and, some of the stuff makes me a little bit uncomfortable. Like, the main villains of the series is, like, these people called the Sticks, and apparently, like, they have, like, origins with, like, Nazis and stuff, and that's why it makes me uncomfortable, because I'm like, where are you taking this? And then, like, I really enjoyed, like, Cal's brother, but then they, like, killed him off in the third one, and I was like, why? So I just haven't been enjoying reading Tunnels that much. And then, like, they give you point of views from the main villain girls, and it's like, why do we need a point of view from them? And then, of course, like, I've been trying to read some more Stephen King, but, like, some of the Stephen King books are uncomfortable, too, because of the way, like, some of the characters Stephen King writes, like, they describe women very gross. And, like, if the woman's hot, they talk about how much of an airhead they are. And I'm like, what is the deal with this? And of course with, like, Warrior Cats, most of the books I've read before, so it's nothing new, but then I'll read stuff and I'll be like, oh, I remember this, and why didn't I draw conclusions of this with this? It's so funny to me. But yeah, that's basically everything I've been reading lately, and most of this is just like a manga review. But, I hope you've enjoyed listening to me ramble about this junk, and I will see you next time.